Welcome back everyone to the Sim Racing Show, your weekly dose of all of the things in the world of sim racing. Now this week is another big week in sim racing news. We see footage of how the Open Rome could potentially look in Assetto Corsa EVO. We're also going to confirm all of the Assetto Corsa EVO features coming in January. We've got news about the release of a new Lamborghini wheel and lots more sim racing news. But first of all, I do want to say a big thank you to all of you. We have hit 100,000 subscribers yesterday, an incredible effort. Feels like a real community effort as well. Thank you to everyone who subscribed, amazing channel partners and mods as well. Thank you so much, everyone. Let's keep it going. If you're not subscribed, please feel free to subscribe. Let's start with the Assetto Corsa EVO, and after that, we'll see the potential Assetto Corsa EVO open world. So as we know, Assetto Corsa EVO is set to launch on Steam Early Access January the 16th, 2025, but we already know its features. So modding is going to be possible, but introduced only once the game is stable. Kunos is aiming for a curated mod system to honour brand licensing and potentially allow creators to earn with both free and paid mod options. Free roam mode is confirmed. Players will be able to enjoy a free roaming environment with traffic designed to allow both race and road cars to shine. The open world experience includes features like refueling, car workshops and dealerships. We'll get into that later. So what cars are coming? So Assetto Corsa EVO not going to focus on a single racing discipline like GT3. It's going to feature a range of road and race cars from classics to modern models. Confirmed cars so far include iconic names like the Ferrari 296 GTB, Porsche 911 GT3, Lamborghini Huracan STO and more. In fact, in my settings video, there was a sneaky reveal of a Toyota in there. So there will be an option of customization. Players will be able to modify cars with various performance and visual tuning options, including tyre choices, paint colours and factory body parts. We already know what tracks are being confirmed. This is going to be a bit of a letdown for people because the confirmed circuits for early access include Brands Hatch, Fuji, Imola and Mount Panorama. A fifth track yet to be finalised could potentially be Laguna Seca or Nordschleife. So not a lot of tracks at launch. That's really going to be disappointing. Kunos on the VR side has developed an in-house engine, so more control over features such as VR and triple screen support, dynamic weather and detailed track conditions, including realistic water flow and fog, which I experienced myself in Germany. And the Assetto Corsa EVO career mode is designed as an RPG for petrolhead car RPG. Players start with a budget, you buy or rent cars, earn currency and reputation, and unlock more customization options over time. AI behavior, they say, is enhanced with elements of machine learning to create a realistic race environment. Every developer in racing is saying that these days. How much is true, I don't know. I'm going to ask them. With flexibility in design, they say Assetto Corsa EVO is intended to be a long-term project like Assetto Corsa, but I know you also here for the open world, so let's talk about that. Portugal open world project from Authentic Simulation is something we've been covering on Sim Racing Show for a while. Is set to bring one of the most detailed open world maps ever to Assetto Corsa, and now they're confirming to Assetto Corsa EVO. That's 142 kilometers of roads. It's a mod where you can explore, drift, rally and race across Portugal with AI traffic. And on Assetto Corsa EVO, they say they're going to be taking full advantage, I should say, of EVO's new engine capabilities with the procedural road generation for life immersion. So I'm going to be questioning about that. They've got a Kickstarter option as well, so not sure how the monetization works. Remember, Kunos is trying to incentivize modders with paid and free mods. They're talking about stuff like Traffic Rush, Express Courier mode as well. So it sounds like maybe you can get stuff that you're experiencing in Test Run Limited, maybe some sort of burnout crashing as well. Would be pretty cool. So that's going to be in a beta when it's ready. So any more news on Assetto Corsa EVO, if you're watching, if you're a developer, a modder, get in touch with me in the email address in the description, and we'd love to cover you in the next Sim Racing Show. Talking about hardware now, and I'm still covering so much hardware from the Sim Racing Expo in Germany. Something that wasn't in the Sim Racing Expo in Germany, but I have, in fact, you can see it there, is a new Lamborghini wheel from Moser. Moser have released a Lamborghini Essenza SCV12 right there, and it's an incredible wheel, in fact. It's a crazy quick release on it. So here we go. Bit of a controversial wheel because the quality on it is insane. 4.3 inch central screen, £1,300. Pretty similar dollars, very expensive, but doesn't come with a funky switch and doesn't have magnetic shifters. So this is when you get in the world of replicas, you get stuff like that. Let's talk about sim racing games. Rennsport dropping an update. So new car on track last week in Rennsport. Aston Martin GT3 now in Rennsport. That's an Unreal Engine 5, so a lot of controversy about Rennsport, but they're making new updates. And they've got a mod track called Crest de Carras, which has been authored by a modder and is based in the Alps, I think. So interesting track there. Remember, the first modded Rennsport track was quite controversial because it looked to be lifted from a mod from Assetto Corsa, which is interesting. We've got an update from EA F1 24, so Season 3's here. Ayrton Senna theme content just in time for the Brazilian Grand Prix. But the bigger controversy with the EA F1 is that some people have been saying they need to improve some of the curb physics, the way the F1 cars are bouncing on curbs, and EA have said they're not going to update that. So that's going to come in the next iteration. It's one of these things, you look at Assetto Corsa EVO, it's going to be iterated over its lifespan, whereas EA are like, that's it, no more updates for this game, it's going to be in next year's game. But in the Senna content, you've got a scenario where you've got a bad gearbox like Senna had, I think, in 1991 in Brazil. But they're doing that using the current McLaren. So it's not going to be as cool as you would have it as if you were driving the old car. They've got a new pro challenge as well with Gabriel Bortoletto, who's doing really well in junior formulas. He set a lap time for people to beat. VR news now. So we're going to talk about Mudrunner. This is from Saber Interactive. Mudrunner VR is finally on Steam. It was previously a Meta Quest exclusive, and it's another example of a VR driving racing game. And I'm increasingly feeling like driving and racing is a really good use case for VR. I'm going to have a video coming out very shortly using the Pimax Crystal Light in a Formula cockpit. That was insane. But I think there should be more VR companies looking at sim racing. So Mudrunner, we know, is about going from A to B using like diff locks and getting through difficult terrain. Could be very interesting in VR, looking over your shoulder and whatnot. However, Mudrunner VR doesn't support steering wheels. You won't be able to use a Lamborghini SCV12 from Moser in that. Tokyo Extreme Racer, covering it so much in the show because I know you guys and girls love it. Subaru Impreza WRX S has officially been announced, and we've got some new gameplay action as well. So more licensed content coming to Tokyo Extreme Racer. I am so hyped for that game. It's PC only, arcade racer with an insane car roster. The Skyline R34's in there, Mazda RX-7, Toyota Supra RZ as well. So that's coming out in 2025. Hopefully going to be speaking with the developers about that as well. So if you've got any questions on that, any other sims, any of the hardware, put it in the comments down below and I will ask you questions. Skip Barber Racing School has announced a partnership with Simcraft. So this is an example of simulators being brought into motorsport tuition. So this is in Long Island in the USA. Another example, the reason why it's in the sim racing show, of kind of motorsport and sim racing coming closer together. So really interesting. And I learned a lot at the Sim Racing Expo in terms of what hardware manufacturers are doing in terms of compromises. There's no compromise on this wheel with a funky switch. However, some manufacturers like VPG, they make a replica and they add a funky switch and say it's a concession. So the lines are blurring between sim racing and real world racing. That has massive consequences for meritocracy, or like just people who are fast getting into motorsport. It doesn't matter how much money you have. Speaking of Sims, Racing Unleashed has also announced a new professional-only Esports Series with £120,000 in the prize pool. That's on Europe, in land-style events. Going to be on a high-end cockpits and technical support. They've got a support category as well, but you need to qualify for that in person. That's going to be in Zurich, Munich, Madrid, and some other cities. I don't even know where they are. It'll be a link in the description. So more stuff coming out with simulating centers as well. And I was actually at Simply Race yesterday in an esports competition where I came 5th overall against esports drivers. Pretty cool. That's the sim racing show for this week. Let me know what you think. Any questions you got, put them in the comments. Please subscribe. It really helps me out. And I will see you next time.